Question 1. In the vow of birth through the Nembutsu, 3 minds are disclosed. Why does Vasubandhu, the author of the treatise, speak of one mind, the mind that is single? Answer. Vasubandhu appears to take the 3 together as one to make the matter easily comprehensible for dull and foolish sentient beings. The 3 minds are sincere mind, entrusting, and aspiration for birth. Looking into the intention of the treatise through the literal meanings of these terms, I find that the 3 should be taken as one. Why is this so? First, for the sincere mind, Shin, the character Shi means truth, sincerity. Shin means seed, kernel. Next, for entrusting, Shingyo, Shin means truth, reality, sincerity, fulfillment, consummation, completion, act, ampleness, discernment, distinction. Gyo means aspiration, desire, happiness, joy, gladness. Third, for aspiration of birth, Yokusho. Yoku means desire, wish, awakening, knowing. Sho means completion, establishment. Sincere mind, then, is the mind that is the seed of sincerity, the kernel of truth. It is therefore altogether free of doubt. And trusting is the mind of truth, reality, sincerity, and fulfillment, the mind of consummation, completion, act, and ampleness, the mind of aspiration, desire, discernment, and distinctness, the mind of happiness, joy, and gladness. It is therefore altogether free of doubt. Aspiration for birth is the mind of desire and wish, the mind of awakening, knowing, completion, and establishment. Thus, these 3 minds are all true and real and completely free of doubt. Because they are free of doubt, they are the mind that is single. Such are the literal meanings of these characters. You should consider them carefully. Further, to consider the 3 minds, the first is sincere mind. This is the true and real mind that perfectly embodies and fully possesses the Tathagata's consummate virtues. Amida Tathagata gives to all these true and real virtues of sincere mind. This is the significance of the name being the essence of sincere mind. By contrast, the sentient beings of the 10 quarters are utterly evil and defiled and completely lack a mind of purity. Being false and poisoned, they lack a true and real mind. Thus, for the Tathagata, when performing practices as a bodhisattva in the stage leading to his Buddhahood, there was not a single moment, not an instant, in his endeavor in the 3 modes of action when his heart was not pure, true, and real. The Tathagata directs this pure, true mind to all sentient beings. The larger sutra states, no thought of greed, anger, or harm arose in his mind. He cherished no impulse of greed, anger, or harm. He did not cling to objects of perception, color, sound, smell, taste. Possessed of perseverance, he gave no thought to the sufferings to be endured. Content with few desires, he was free of greed, anger, and folly. Always tranquil in a state of samadhi, he possessed wisdom that knew no impediment. Gentle in countenance and loving in speech, he perceived people's thoughts and was attentive to them. He was full of courage and vigor. Being resolute in his acts, knew no fatigue. Seeking solely that which was pure and undefiled, he brought benefit to all beings. He revered the 3 treasures and served his teachers and elders. He fulfilled all the various kinds of practices, embellishing himself with great adornments, and brought all sentient beings to the attainment of virtues. From these sacred words, we know clearly that this first mind is the Tathagata's sincere mind, pure and vast. It is true and real mind. Because sincere mind is none other than the mind of great compassion, it is completely free of doubt. Second is entrusting. The essence of entrusting is none other than the true and real mind. But the multitudes of beings in their bondage, foolish beings in defilement, completely lack pure Shinjin, Shinjin that is true and real. Because of this, it is hard to encounter the true and real virtue, hard to realize entrusting that is pure. Hence, as is explained in Shantao's commentary, thoughts of desire arise constantly to defile any goodness of heart. The flames of anger and hatred in his mind consume the Dharma treasure. Even if one strives to the utmost with body and mind through the 12 periods of the day and night, and however inopportune one's actions and practice may be, as though sweeping fire away from one's head, it must all be called poisoned good acts, or empty, transitory, and false practices. It cannot be called true, real, and sincere action. Though one may direct the merit of such poisoned good toward birth in the Pure Land, it is of no avail. Why? Because when the Tathagata was performing practices as a bodhisattva, every single moment, every single instant, was filled with his practices in the 3 modes of action performed with a true and real mind. Hence, they were completely free of doubts. And the Tathagata directs this joyful trust that is pure, true, and real to all sentient beings. The passage on the fulfillment of the primal vow in the sutra states, "Sentient beings, as they hear the name, realize Shinjin and joy." With these sacred words, we know clearly that this second mind, because of the primal vow, is entrusting that is pure, true, real, and perfect. It is Shinjin. Shinjin, because it is none other than the mind of great compassion, is altogether free of doubt. Third is the aspiration for birth. The essence of aspiration for birth is none other than the pure, true, and real Shinjin. But foolish beings transmigrating in samsara, multitudes passing many lives through long kalpas, lack the pure mind of directing merits toward attaining enlightenment and toward all beings, the true and real mind of directing merit. Thus, while the Tathagata was performing practices as a bodhisattva in the stage leading to his Buddhahood, there was not a single moment, not an instant, in his endeavor in the 3 modes of action, when he did not realize the mind of great compassion, taking the directing of his virtue to beings as foremost. Hence, the Tathagata directs this pure, true, and real mind of aspiration for birth to all sentient beings. The passage on the fulfillment of the primal vow in the sutra states, "Through being directed to them out of Amida's sincere mind, when beings aspire to be born in that land, they then attain birth and dwell in the stage of non-retrogression." With these sacred words, we know clearly that this third mind arises as the call by which the great compassion of the Tathagata summons all sentient beings. The aspiration for birth that is great compassion. This is true directing of virtue. Since these 3 minds are all directed to beings by the mind of great compassion, they are pure, true, and real, and completely free of doubt. Hence, they are the mind that is single. Thus, on reading Master Shantao's commentary, we find it written, "On the western bank is one who calls, 'O traveler, with the mind that is single, with right-mindedness, come at once, I will protect you. Have no fear of falling to disaster into the water or fire.'" Further it states, "The white path that spans the river is an image for the awakening of pure aspiration for birth in the midst of greed and anger, of all our blind passions." Reverently embracing Sakyamuni's exhortations and obeying Amida's call, the traveler gives no thought to the 2 rivers of water and fire, and takes that path of the power of the vow. With these words, we know that the pure aspiration that one awakens is not the mind of self-power of foolish beings. It is the mind directed to beings out of great compassion. Hence it is called pure aspiration. Concerning the words, "with the mind that is single, with right-mindedness," then Right-mindedness refers to saying the name. Saying the name is the Nembutsu. The mind that is single is deep mind. Deep mind is profound Shinjin, which is steadfast. Steadfast, profound Shinjin is the true mind. The true mind is the diamond mind. The diamond mind is the supreme mind. The supreme mind is the mind that is genuine, single, and enduring. The mind that is genuine, single, and enduring is the mind of great joy. When the mind of great joy is realized, this mind negates the three characteristics of non-entrusting. It accords with the three characteristics of entrusting. This mind is the mind of great enlightenment. The mind of great enlightenment is true and real Shinjin. True and real Shinjin is the aspiration for Buddhahood. The aspiration for Buddhahood is the aspiration to save all beings. The aspiration to save all beings is the mind that grasps sentient beings and brings them to birth in the Pure Land of happiness. This mind is the mind of ultimate equality. It is the great compassion. This mind attains Buddhahood. This mind is Buddha. It is practicing in accord with reality, being in correspondence with the name. Let this be known. Here ends the explanation that the three minds are the mind that is single.